When did you wind up with Bill? When did that one come?
That was that was in 2020.
So we're jumping way ahead.
Way ahead, yeah. I was at the Rams. I was with Sean in 18 and 19, and then Coach Belichick called, and in 18 we lost the Super Bowl to New England,
right? And
so I had to have a big, whatever I say, we're having a family meeting at the house. They know we're moving.
Yeah.
So it was 2020, and I said, girls, we're gonna have a family meeting here. And I brought out like the Patriots cookies. I'm like, we're going to go to New England. And my youngest daughter goes, finally, we're going to win a Super Bowl. And then what happens? The Rams win the Super Bowl the next year. So, but we had a great run. I actually had the Cam Newton time. But another, Coach Belichick and I have been very close for a lot of years.
When did you first meet him?
2011, when I was coaching for University of Miami. One thing that Bill did, I think, better than anybody is his ties to college football are so great that he was always communicating and always trying to find out, where do you see this guy versus this guy? And we had a lot of good players on that team, from Lamar Miller to Philip Dorsett to, a bunch of Sean Spence, and he would talk about it, and he would ask you, like, compare this guy to this guy, and then as you build that relationship and trust, it just continued to get stronger and stronger. And then when I had an opportunity to go be his quarterback coach, I ran at it, and it was so awesome to be with him. And then Arizona called to be their head coach, so I wound up only being there 1 year, but we've stayed obviously extremely close. I hired his son to be our defensive coordinator last year. Bill was at our program a bunch, and he's my number one resource.
Yeah, for a while we kept showing a photograph of Bill wearing Washington gear. I think we probably still have it to pop it up there. So he was around, clearly.
Oh yeah.
And how do you feel he's equipped for this 21st century NIL world in North Carolina? If you don't mind me prying on that.
Yeah, I think he's the best. He's phenomenal, and I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that he is going to have an unbelievable plan, an unbelievable idea of how he's going to do things. He's going to know exactly what it's going to take. He's going to have great conversations, with what is it going to take to get to the next level, and also be able to handle the finances. Because what Bill did so well over 19 or 20 years, whatever it was exactly, was build a team. And he was able to have those conversations with players and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to pay you the maximum number that maybe another player would be getting in that position, because we're also needing to sign this guard and this 3 technique and this nickel. And he was able to build it. So I think he's going to have an unbelievable run there for as long as he's going to want to do it. And Chapel Hill's certainly very lucky.
Is that the way it is now in college? Where you're basically, it is like building, because clearly we've established, we didn't even get into, and I'd love to before this interview ends, the year you spent with Pete Carroll, who's now in Vegas, and the time you spent with Jim at Michigan, who's now across the street with the Chargers. You've straddled the line of pro and college for quite some time. Is it one and the same right now, Jedd?
There's some differences that the contracts are different, right? So not everyone's a free agent every 6 months. In the NFL, that doesn't happen, right?
That's true, right?
So you have to be able to find that balance of relationship and finances versus, once you tie an NFL player down to a contract, they have a contract. I still think recruiting matters. I think that building a culture matters. We still are very much in a player-centric program, that what we do at University of Washington, what we did at Arizona. I learned so much from being with Coach Harbaugh year 1 and year 2 at Michigan, and being with Coach Carroll year 1 at Seattle. And I think when you're with these guys in their first year, as they're putting their culture in, that never goes away.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.